right.
We got a glimpse of it on Saturday night's main event. Mr. T, all suited up with boxing gloves, was in the ring. Piper comes strolling in, throws some shade and spits on Mr. T.
That's how you get a feud started. Mr. T, cool as a cucumber, tells the ref to get out of the ring. We gonna settle this ourselves.
Piper strips down, ready to rumble. Mr. T shows off some impressive footwork. Looks like he's got some boxing skills.
But then, out of nowhere, Bob Orton sneaks into the ring and nails Mr. T from behind.
It was a brutal beatdown. That set the stage for this Wrestlemania match. 10 rounds of boxing, Piper versus Mr. T. I gotta say, 10 rounds sounds like a lot of boredom.
I hear you. I'd much rather see Butterbean step in. He'd end this whole thing in 2 rounds, tops.
Speaking of main events, let's shift our focus to Hogan and Bundy. They've got their own backstory. Hogan, he's nursing some broken ribs after getting avalanched by Bundy on Saturday night's main event.
See, everybody gets slammed, but Hogan's the only one who gets hurt. I mean, who nurses their ribs for weeks on end? Hogan does, brother.
And here he is with me talking about how he's ready to fight despite the injury. He's defending the belt, and it represents America. Right. Fighting hurt, that's also defending America.
I swear, for a minute there, I thought they were building up some tension between Hogan and Jesse.
I think the heat between us was real, you know. It's no secret I had to leave the business due to blood clots.
Maybe there's more to this story than we know, Jesse.
There always is, Gorilla. Always is.
You know, Jesse, there's this whole story about you trying to unionize the wrestlers back in the day. Supposedly, you wanted to force Vince's hand by having the wrestlers no show, demanding better pay.
That's absolutely ridiculous. And you know who I blame, Hogan. He ratted me out to Vince. Told him all about my plans. We haven't spoken since.
You know, even Susan St. James got in on the action. She said she saw the match where Hogan got his ribs hurt. She's rooting for Hogan. Can you believe that?
Shocking. Did she actually see the match or just watch the video?
Speaking of matches, let's talk about the celebrity judges at WrestleMania 2. Howard Finkel introduces Joan Rivers, the guest ring announcer who announces the judges for this fixed boxing match. Apparently, fake sports need judges.
Joan Rivers, a premier comedian. Well, she was hot at the time, I'll give you that. But judges for a scripted boxing match. It's insane. What about Chocolate Thunder Daryl Hawkins? Are we supposed to think he's sexual chocolate now?
And who else but the legendary Cab Calloway? Dick Ebersol must have been at a jazz brunch that Sunday and decided to throw Calloway into the mix.
Then there's G. Gordon Liddy, a radio personality at the time. You know, the infamous White House plumber. He was Nixon's foot soldier in Watergate, a scumbag who spent time in prison. What is he doing at WrestleMania?
And don't forget Dr. George Zahorian, who's just waiting to get indicted. Honestly, what's the point of all these judges when the match ends in a DQ? No real finish.
One of the judges is an athlete, but not even a boxer. Basketball is a non-contact sport. I understand a football player, but Cab Calloway and Gordon Liddy. It's absolutely crazy. And to top it all off, WrestleMania 2's execution is just plain terrible. You wouldn't believe the chaos at WrestleMania 2. Joan Rivers is introducing the judges, then basically kicks them out. It's like she's running her own show.
Wait, it gets worse. Daryl Dawkins thought he was supposed to get in the ring, then they tell him to leave. Why even call him to leave? Why even call him in if they didn't want him there?
And then Cab Calloway just waves to the crowd doing the high D, high D, high D ho. He doesn't even bother getting in the ring.
It's like the whole event is falling apart. Then G. Gordon Liddy shows up, practically thirsting for the spotlight. He'll do anything for some public attention, even if it means looking like a good guy. If that wasn't bad enough, the guest timekeeper is Herb. You know, the one who wasn't at Burger King?
They had Burger King and Wendy's spokespeople in the same building. Where was Ronald McDonald? Shouldn't he be in Los Angeles or Chicago? He wasn't a jack in the box either. You already had Barry Darso as the Hamburglar. He was repossessing fries and a Coke as the Repo Man.
But Herb did get a pop from the crowd. He even did a little dance. Apparently, Burger King was angry at him for not eating at their restaurant, so they offered a 99-cent Whopper to everyone except Herb. People had to go to the desk and say, "I'm not Herb," to get the discount.
It's crazy. Thank God we don't see these bizarre campaigns anymore. But Time magazine called it clever back then.
This whole thing is a mess. It's a Mr. T versus Piper boxing match, but the energy is completely gone. It's the last fumes of the Mr. T WWF connection, which blew up at Wrestlemania 1. We're running on fumes here.
Susan St. James says she's been waiting for this match for 2 months. That tells you we shouldn't have been waiting because it's a complete bust. It's such a clusterfuck. There's a huge delay after Joan Rivers says it's time. Then it's not time. Then it's not time. She introduces referee Jack Luntz while Vince and Susan are talking.
Bob Orton, Lou Duva, and Piper are all in the ring. Rivers is introducing Piper, and they're jumping around like they're doing some strange dance.
It's absolute chaos. The camera cuts to Joe Frazier leading Mr. T to the ring while Joan Rivers is still introducing Piper. The audio isn't even synced with the cutaways.
Vince says Mr. T has more boxing experience than Piper. Seriously, Piper won the Golden Gloves. I don't know if it's true, but he grew up in a tough life. He was involved in a lot of amateur boxing.
This whole show is just a train wreck. They couldn't even get the basic details right. It's just one big mess. You could really feel the tension between Mr. T and Roddy Piper, man. There was bad blood.
Definitely. Piper was out to protect the integrity of the match, so he got a few licks in early. Mr. T seemed a bit spooked, maybe taking offense to the aggression. Roddy was playing it smart, knowing that if Mr. T didn't cooperate, he could end up looking bad.
Mr. T was anxious, nervous about being double-crossed. He couldn't really fight in real life, you know? He was terrified that getting beat up by a wrestler would ruin his movie and TV career. That fear is what led to the mistrust between him and Roddy.
You know, Mr. T never really had a reason not to trust Piper. But I have a feeling by the time WrestleMania 2 rolled around, they were both done with each other. This was just an obligation they had to fulfill.
Piper did get his licks in and made T look bad at times, but they gave him some comebacks. He got hit harder than he expected, though.
Piper's wearing those shorts that look like a kilt, and he's sporting a flannel shirt tonight. He looks like a lumberjack. Susan St. James keeps calling Mr. T the always gracious one. What's that supposed to mean? And Piper's spitting water all over the place, which doesn't exactly make him look badass. Gracious isn't the word I'd use. That's for sure.
The referee from the State Athletic Commission is laying down the rules. No hitting below the belt, 3 knockdowns, and stay standing when I call on you. And look at me when I'm talking to you.
They're already screaming at each other in the middle of the ring, going head to head before the bell even rings. The ref's shouting, "We don't want any of that crap here. It's out of control already. And the commission's not doing a thing."
Mr. T, the southpaw, against Roddy Piper. Vince is getting all his boxing cliches out of the way in the first 10 seconds. Piper's got the reach advantage, Mr. T's got to get inside.
Mr. T's playing peekaboo, just jabbing and jabbing. He goes to the body for some reason, like he's channeling Clubber Lang. More like Lang getting clubbed, though. Piper's swinging hard, but not making contact, though.
Susan St. James is worried that Roddy's going to wear himself out. Punching is the word you're looking for, Susan.
Vince is calling this a brawling type matchup. No kidding. It's a boxing match. It's all brawling, all punching. I mean, don't get mad at Vince. He's trying to move tickets, but this match is just making me need to take a dump.
There's a break against the ropes and Piper tries to sneak in a 1-2. The ref calls him out on it during the clean break. Piper gives the ref a little up yours as he looks away. That's going to be his gimmick now, just disrespecting the ref. Wouldn't that be a disqualification in a real boxing match?
Yeah, the Boxing Commission would have none of that.
All right, Gorilla. It looks like the Boxing Commission's comp tickets didn't do them any favors. They just got locked out of the Nassau Coliseum.
That's right, Jesse. Stud is taking a powder.
He's really focusing on those ribs. And check out that peekaboo style he's employing, bobbing left and right. It kind of resembles a boxing match played on Nintendo, doesn't it?
Ha! That's exactly it. Mr. T's moves look like classic button mashing, like in Mike Tyson's punch. Out.
You got to give credit where it's due, though. They've managed to adorn the corner posts with those long pads. But they could have added a couple more ropes to stop anyone from spilling out.
It does get a bit chaotic in there, Jesse. There's a lot of wrestling going on. And at one point, Piper's punch sails right over the referee as he tries to get between them.
The bell sounded for round 1, and they keep throwing punches. The seconds in the ring do nothing to separate them.
And look at Piper now. He's got grease all over his face. Seems like someone skipped a shower before showing up.
I guess that's General Grease. He's riding Grease Lightning straight to the ring, Gorilla. And without the commission around to control them,
Mr. T has a big water bottle shoved in his face by Joe Frazier, and Piper's trying to draw T into his corner. That's against the rules.
Vince is asking Susan who she gave the first round to. What a silly question. It's like asking a baby for an analysis.
Right? Susan manages to say. Mr. T is smarter, but that's just vague. What does that even mean?
And let's talk about that ludicrous amount of Vaseline she put on Piper's hair. It's almost absurd.
It's just part of the gimmick, Jesse. They pile on all these bells and whistles because they probably didn't think they could handle a full wrestling match.
Exactly. Between rounds, Piper's greasing himself up to make those punches slide right off. That's classic heel maneuvering.
And he's throwing these arm punches too, just standing there and launching them.
It's pretty ridiculous. A pantomime boxing match can be unbearable, especially when it looks faker than a fake boxing punch.
Yet, in round 2, he does land a few real ones. Piper's throwing some stiff shots now.
And he knocks Mr. T down. You can see T is struggling. He's not got the energy to come back.
Exactly. Mr. T's punches lack conviction, and Piper capitalizes on that with big wind-up shots.
Susan St. James seems shocked by all of this. She's telling Mr. T to pull a Hulk. As he recovers from that knockdown,
Mr. T gets up at 8, but the crowd's chanting for Piper. They're loving it.
it's hilarious. The wrestling fans are cheering him on, but, you know, deep down, he's on shaky ground.
And just as the round closes, Piper throws a cheap shot at T after the bell. The commission is still doing nothing.
What a scene we have here. Unbelievable. So the Boxing Commission wants the WWF to follow their rules, but they don't want to get involved. It's like they did everything they could to avoid this. They flaunted the rules, made them look ridiculous.
You know, the crowd didn't even react to that punch to the back of the head. That rabbit punch. They're supposed to hate that, but in wrestling, cheating is different. In wrestling, cheating means using a weapon. It's not cheating unless you get caught. By this point, the crowd was already behind Piper anyway.
Then Orton comes over and gives Mr. T an ice bucket challenge, throws a ball in his face.
It's crazy how they do all this gimmick stuff between rounds. They think boxing is so boring, they have to spice it up. But why not just do a wrestling match instead?
We get to round 3 and Mr. T is just punching the body. I'm thinking to myself, do they think this is karate where you can't punch the head? He's playing off that Clubber Lang character, all body shots.
It's almost like this round is about Piper discovering head punches. Mr. T finally starts landing them, slows down the pace. He's out of gas, completely gassed.
It's funny because in wrestling, punches never knock you out unless there are tons of them. You have to punch a guy 3,000 times to get it over in a wrestling match, even if it's a boxing match. Boxing gloves don't change the impact of a punch. You need a ludicrous amount of punches to get a guy down. A real wrestling punch using bone and flesh should knock you out much faster.
Piper recovers, waves him on. Mr. T is going for the head now. We're starting to hear T chants in Uniondale.
There's a spot where Mr. T pushes Piper into the corner, a left hook connects, and Piper bounces off the ropes and falls to the floor. It's not enough just to punch a guy down. He needs to hit the buckles in the corner, a wrestling spot. The ref counts him down. Piper sells it like crazy. They pour water on his head. He's back in the ring at 9. Then the boxer goes out of the ring for a 5-minute break, a pause to recover. If they continue, and if not, they go to the scorecards.
But there's no commission ruling, so Piper is expected to just get back in there. He's weak on his knees, but it's Mr. T's best round yet.
Well, if that's his best round, it's the worst round in wrestling pay. Per view history. Suddenly, a ring girl appears for the 4th round. Vince tries to smooth things over, saying Piper wasn't there earlier, but you know, Gorilla, this isn't the first time Piper's pulled something like this.
Yeah, Jesse, and look at this. Piper's struggling to pick up the stool with that boxing glove on. He finally gets it and just throws it right at Mr. T. The commission doesn't do a thing. These guys are really letting loose.
They're trading blows like real boxers, Gorilla. It's just a slugfest. No finesse here, but it's working. The crowd's eating it up.
Look at this. Both guys are just swinging wild in round 4. Mr. T seems to be getting the better of it, but Piper just catches him with a slap. Mr. T's answering back, but it's all phony shots.
Oh boy, Piper's in a fit of desperation. He just shoved the referee to the mat. And now, oh my, Gorilla, he's going for a body slam on Mr. T. That's one step too far, even for Piper.
The commission is still doing nothing, and Piper's just pouncing on him.
The ring's filling up, Gorilla. Ooh, Lou Duva's here. Smokin Joe Frazier's involved. And look at Bob Orton. Mr. Tease, like he won, but Piper's got him again.
No disqualification win for Mr. T. Jesse. After a brutal 13 minutes and 15 seconds, this one's over. It wasn't pretty, though.
This was a lame finish, Gorilla, and a lame match. It was too slow at the start. Piper took the 2nd round. Then Mr. T won the 3rd. Then Piper just lost his cool and got himself disqualified.
It was an all right boxing exhibition, Jesse, but not something they should repeat often. They clearly understand that. I thought Mr. T was better at WrestleMania 1. He didn't really show off his personality here.
Piper was a great heel gorilla, but he's a better wrestling heel. He's just too used to the little things he can do in the ring.
You're right, Jesse. This match was a stain on WrestleMania history, not a moment of glory.